As I know many of you are wondering,
How did countries decide the act of imperializing Africa in the late 1800s?
wait! Vocab lesson! Imperialism is to extend a country's power through military force or diplomacy. Unpause. Well, I have the answer for you. This is the Berlin Conference explained in Minecraft terms. Now, before this all started, the British and the French faction had decided they wanted land in the African factions to get materials for their megabase in the international SMP. But this area was great in the eyes of other countries as well due to the materials fitting their base perfectly. So they decided to have an SMP meetup called the Berlin Conference, which the SMP would divide the land between 14 different factions named France, Germany, Spain, Denmark, United States, United Kingdom, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, Sweden, Norway, Ottoman Empire, nowadays is Turkey, and worst of all, Belgium. Now it's very important to note that there were already factions in this land they wanted, but none of them were invited to this SMP meetup. The meetup ended in these factions legally being able to forcefully gain the right to territories in the area. Imperialism. Now, you may be asking,
Why couldn't they fight back? I mean, they had the materials, didn't they?
and to that, imagine this. The local factions had little to no crafting knowledge, so they could only make weapons and armor. However, these European countries had access to stuff such as TNT minecarts, and it's pretty obvious what happens now, and it's not pretty. Now, after imperialization came Chapter 2, the inhumane treatment. All these local factions wanted was a nice, peaceful life, but instead they were forced to mine gold and diamonds, which was every Minecrafter's dream at the time. Remember Belgium? Whose main acquirement was the Congo. These were extremely evil faction owners who axe crit people who did not know how to mine how they wanted them to. If we're talking in IRL terms, by axe crit I mean chopped off the hands of, chopped off limbs, and even killed in real life. Other factions include the United Kingdom faction imperializing well-known factions such as Africa and Nigeria, France imperializing Algeria and Morocco, North African factions. There are many more, but way too many to mention. Later on, African factions gained these TNT minecarts and fought back, but the European culture was left in these factions. The inhumane treatment, the slavery, and much more, the Berlin Conference is often looked down upon by many miners today. The relationship between the African natives and the imperialists of Europe was obviously not very well. I mean, the imperialists were taking their resources, their diamonds, their gold, for their personal benefit and their personal megabases.